Welcome back to Rogue Trip. 2012 is finally over in the year 2022.
Well, the last couple of years have seemed like they have taken a decade each to its, end, so...
Yeah, no kidding. But the Groundhog's Day loop is finally closing.
I was going to say it's like Groundhog Day, but marginally more offensive.
Yeah. And this time we are playing as Sidewinder, who is another dune buggy, just like the last vehicle we played as.
Trigon. That's like Vashta Stampede. Yeah, the read info. Mechanical arm. Yeah, he's Vashta Stampede. He's a cyber cowboy. Spoiler for Trigon.
Vashta Stampede by way of Sisters of Mercy.
I wish they would do more like direct parodies in this game. They're all like generic archetypes.
Yeah,
but wouldn't this be the kind of the correct era for when Trigon first came out? I think Trigon's like the only anime I've ever seen because I don't like anime, but I like Trigon.
Yes, it would actually, because Trigon, well, at the very least, it was released in the West in about 2000.
But these are geeks who would have seen it previous.
More than likely, yeah. I think it came out in Japan in about 97.
Yep, this was 98. I'm pretty sure I saw Trigon around this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm calling it. It's a Trigon reference.
Alright, let's go.
Yeah.
Nah, this character doesn't have nearly enough personality, unfortunately.
Okay, he didn't do the whooping sound.
Well, that's our tourist.
Ah, okay.
Hasn't once asked for a donut. Like, what the hell?
And this world is certainly not made of love and peace.
Definitely not.
It's a nightmare when Intruder gets the tourist. Because Intruder has the most irritating AI in this entire game.
Wait, which one was Intruder? It's been a while.
The Batmobile.
Ah.
Yeah. My favorite car.
Yeah. I think in general this guy is just more of a generic Mad Max kind of a guy.
Mm-hmm. Precisely.
He's a cyber cowboy, and like the image looked like what would we use on wanted posters in the Trigon universe for Bash.
Yeah, but you have to remember these are also people with very, very, very limited senses of imagination.
Was there any ninja in the game?
Was that?
Were there any ninjas in this game as drivers? I don't remember.
No, I don't think so. No ninjas.
Missed opportunity.
So I'm gonna actually call it point against your argument.
Okay, so I take it back. They have very low levels of imagination, and they're also just slightly above being incredibly lazy.
Yeah.
I think they're less weeby than us. Or we were in the late 90s.
I doomed myself because the only anime I've ever...
Yeah.
Actually, I watched, I think it's called Slayer, when I was really high in Amsterdam for a week.
Slayers, yeah.
Yeah, then I tried to continue watching it when I came home to Sweden and wasn't high anymore, and it wasn't fun anymore.
Alright, let's go.
I don't know if there's a correlation causation thing here, but...
Yeah, Slayers is hilarious. I think that's more of a you problem. I'm making the value judgment here.
Yeah, it's possible. We did name one of our guinea pigs Nunsa after the horny fishman in the...
Yeah, unfortunately all this game's reference points end at like 1986.
Yeah. Yeah, I just had a horrible realization there that I'm probably the weebiest person in this in this chat. Oh,
Yeah, but
God.
we don't throw stones here. That's a badge of honor.
I got my own stuff.
You win the weeb off here instead of lose it.
You two haven't seen what was on my YouTube channel before I cleaned it up. Actually, I think I've mentioned when I did videos about My Little Pony.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I didn't do on recording, but I have now.
And I suddenly feel better about myself. I suddenly feel leagues better.
Yeah, we're not on something awful anymore, you can mention it.
I got banned on something awful for it.
Yeah, nice. That's a badge of honor.
Yeah. I didn't even defend because I kind of hate bronies. I really, really hate bronies. But It was more like someone claimed that I had to be a pedophile to watch the show with my kids, and I got kind of mad.
I mean, I know a guy who, cheerfully watches Teen Titans Go with his kids. That doesn't make him a pedophile, that makes him an awesome dad.
We have a couple of shows, kid shows, that we sought out kid shows that we could enjoy watching with our kids, because most kid shows suck.
Yeah.
So that one had a rather, inclusive without being demeaning, and it was an interesting way of storytelling for the first 3 seasons. Then we stopped watching because I got bored. But that's kind of, we have a limited amount of variety.
Oh, by the way, energy and turbo in this game are the same meter, which is probably the best thing about this entire game. Which means your turbo, it recharges automatically over time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always felt kind of weak in most metal games.
Yeah, I honestly wish they would adopt it for Twisted Metal, because you don't have to get turbo pickups in this game. It's always just constantly refilling. And because it's the same bar, it basically recharges twice as fast so that you still have some left over for energy moves. It is, pretty good system.
Actually, got back into dicking around with PS2 emulators over Christmas and the New Year. Started playing Twisted Metal Black in head-on, and I've got to say, it's weird starting them up and not hearing your voice being like, welcome! I was like, there's something wrong here. Oh, I know what it is.
Wait, are you doing the authentic experience? Screwing yourself with the European version of Black?
Oh god, no. Like, I hate myself, but not that much.
They did just recently dig up a prototype version of Twisted Metal Harbor City.
Yeah.
Where there's like 6 levels that are playable at this point.
Yeah, I saw a video about that. The cancelled version of it. Mm-hmm. But there's like maybe like 3 textures in the entire game.
Yeah, there's been like fan restoration projects that have got it actually looking pretty good.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, and they've like used assets from more recent Twisted Metal games. So they were at the mall and they had like Red Ram signs from Twisted Metal 2012.
I was gonna say it probably looks a bit schizophrenic with the wildly different artistic styles.
Yep, very much so. It's pretty awkward, but they are fully functional levels, and from a design perspective, they are at least about as good as the ones here in Road Trip.
That is damning it with the faintest of praise.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many vehicles is in it? Are in? Where?
I think they have all the same vehicles as Twisted Metal Head-On.
Yeah.
Because Head-On, it like runs in head-on.
Ah.
Yeah, I think there was...
It's very brave.
There was a couple of vehicles that were meant to be in head-on, which some of the assets were still there for, but they got taken out for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because they always wind up with stuff like that in games like that.
Yep, every single time. Not this game, though. Road Trip could have used a bit more of that.
Oh, yeah.
Trimming the fat. There are like 3 entire levels that just absolutely should not have been in this game.
Oh, that graveyard thing.
Yeah, Eternal Acres.
It has actually shown up in my dreams. Like, it's so bland. It's like, I remember. I returned to thinking of it. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
I had to do an entire legitimate run of this game to get this recording, just this one level, because that's my gimmick. And I was actually looking forward to it because this game is fairly fun. And then I sat down to play it, and I remembered, oh my god, Eternal Acres, I'm going to have to play that again. And then I put the game down for about a month.
Just go out there and it's like, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake.
Also known as why I have never replayed Red Faction 1. Anyone who's played it knows which level I'm talking about. The stealth level.
Oh yeah.
See, for me, it would be Evil Within, because when I was replaying it when the sequel came out, and I remembered having so much fun with it when it first came out, and then every so often I'd be like, oh, I remember this bit, I hated this bit, and that accounted for about 60% of the game.
Yeah.
It's like, why did I like this again?
Dragon Age Origins used to have that issue for me until I found a mod that was Mage Tower Begun.
Skip the fade.
Yeah.
No one likes the fade.
It was interesting the first time.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun gameplay segment. It had no bearing on the plot, though.
Yeah, it's just that there's so much backtracking because you need to
Yeah.
talk to this guy and get this for him, and then go past this guy and get this for him, and then use this form to get past this guy to get another fucking form.
Yeah, and Trials of Mana, or Seiken Densetsu 3, as I thought it was known up until I found out it exists in a modern remake.
Yeah.
That one had the forest with the red flowers that weren't red enough for the colorblind me. It sucked. And then I played the remake because we got a PS4 for free this holiday
nice.
from some buddies. Yeah. Oh, actually, we bought it for a carrot cake. It was a fair deal. They wanted to. I don't know why they didn't want any money for it, but I'm not gonna complain. So I found out that they made a remake of the game, and I've played through it like 3 times already.
Oh yeah, it's the Secret of Mana remake is garbage, but the Trials of
that
Mana one
I bought
so
that
good.
one as well, and holy shit, that's bad.
Yeah.
It was my first role-playing game ever, Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm playing it like Marlon Brando in The Godfather, going, "Look how they massacred my boy."
But have you played Trials of Mana?
Yes, I've got it. I need to go. I need to get back into it actually because I got my third party member and was like, "Okay, time to put this down so I can play something else," and then never went back to it.
Okay, you are like a 10% into the game tops. No, not even that.
Oh no, I've played the original. I've barely scratched the surface.
Yeah, and I really like it. My biggest issue is that for some reason they refuse to make it multiplayer. Because we had set up so that me and the kids could play it because it's 3 characters, and on the SNES you could play it with 3 people. I think maybe I know 2 people at least.
The original was 3-player. The sequel was 2-player for some reason.
In a JRPG?
Yeah,
Why?
it was so ahead of its time. It's unreal.
It's not turn-based, first of all.
Yeah, action RPG.
That sounds tolerable then.
Although Chrono Trigger was turn-based, and you could play that with multiple players.
Yeah, that was weird.
Anyway,
Yeah, so that kind of sucked that we couldn't play it together. But it's a really, really good remake, and it's very fun. And people should get it.
yeah.
And I know I am firmly digging myself into the weeaboo corner here, and I'm gonna own it up.
Yeah, this is weirdly the weebiest episode yet of the entire LP. I don't know
It's kind
why.
of the same thing. I don't like Japanese role-playing games, except the Mana series.
We were fighting a mech. This was a mecha anime for a couple of minutes there.
Yeah.
With our Japanese cowboy.
The weebiest episode of a American car combat game.
Which takes place exclusively in America, this entire game. 100% American.
2 great tastes that don't belong in the same hemisphere, let alone the same palette.
Yeah. And it's the big multi-phase boss fight where anytime you're near the boss, you are taking constant, huge chunks of damage. Unavoidable.
I almost wonder if they got the idea for the multi-phase bosses in the remake, Twisted Metal remake, from this.
I would say that is very likely. The remake has a lot of references from Rogue Trip.
Because the fight in this reminds me so much of the Dollface boss battle.
Yep, definitely.
By the way, what was your special thing?
Flamethrower, I think it was.
No, Sidewinder has a arrow with a bunch of dynamite strapped to it.
Ah,
It is very similar to Mr. Grimm's special. It's extremely powerful, and it sends enemies flying when you hit them with it. And the only awkward thing is it travels in an arrow arc. So it goes up and then down.
So it's like the napalm in Wisdom Matter 2.
In a lot of ways, yeah. It's super hard to hit with, but very powerful. It's actually a very fun special to use, but the vehicle has very low armor, so it's basically this game's Mr. Grimm.
If you're good with him, it's very satisfying.
Oh yeah, definitely.
also there's a guy in the credits there called Randy Zorko. Is that where they got the name for the first level of Twisted Metal Black?
Oh yeah,
Zorko's-
Zorko Brothers.
Yeah, Zorko Brothers.
I never put that together, but yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, cool.
Look at the who voiced Mad Jack? Max Payne.
But 2x.
Nice.
To avoid copyright.
Yeah, imagine this, like, 1x just makes it sound cool, 2x's makes him sound like a really skeezy porn star.
That's 3 X's.
No, 2 makes him sound like a really low-rent porn star.
Yeah, you're right. But speaking of 3 X's, here on the next frame, we got pornstar.com. Call 805-966-9696. Missed opportunity there.
Ah. No, they do have
Only
a 6.
169.
Yeah, they do have 1.
Yep. Also, since I dinged Twisted Metal 3 for it, I have to point out that the end credits do not normally have any music. I edited this music in post.
St. Murphy is gonna make sure that you get flagged on for content on YouTube. I don't know if they still do that, so.
I pulled it from this game and stuck it back in.
Okay.
It's the vocal track Exalting Big Daddy, which is my favorite song in the game by far.
So, Max Payne... this game was made by people who usually work at a BDSM porn set, wasn't it?
Almost certainly. Someone in this game certainly was pretty into BDSM, but with Avenging Angel.
And with pornstar.com in the titles.
Yeah, but as you pointed out, that's the clothing line.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody knows that today, though. Just
Yeah.
you and the people watching this LP.
I feel old.
So we got one last thing, which is also referenced in future Twisted Metal games. This is the beginning of their love affair with having you play as the final boss in a single, challenge mode mission. So we get to take out the Big Daddy mech. Only in Nuke York.
Yeah, well, I can actually accept that. For most of the maps, it wouldn't really work.
Yeah. And spoilers, it doesn't work here either, but...
It runs like it's roller skating, and that's really weird.
Yep. It's very awkward. Also, we cannot pick up any of the weapons in this mode. We just walk right through all the pickups because our hitbox is
Too high.
20 feet up off the ground.
So, do you just regenerate them, or is it once you're done, you're done?
Once we're done, except for our special, which regenerates fairly quickly. But the special during the boss fight, when the AI was controlling it, was the mech would turn around and shit meteors at you. But we don't get to do that as the mech ourselves.
So that incline, really awkward.
Yep.
Both up and down.
Yeah, I've talked about this. Twisted Metal Black was supposed to do the same thing, where you play as the final boss just for one challenge mode mission. But it was so awkward that they cut it out of the game. They did not have the good sense to do that here in Rogue Trip.
Well, they cutting stuff for the greater good kind of became their MO.
Yeah, later on. Not here yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least they learned some lesson from this game.
Yeah, I would say this game is essential for understanding the overall Twisted Metal experience. This is Scott Campbell's creative leadership, and he is half of the Twisted Metal creative team, David Jaffe being the other half. And you can see his potty mouth sense of humor.
Yeah, this is sort of like the bonus chapter at the end of the book that was cut but suddenly explains everything.
Yeah, the sequel to oh god, this is a bad reference. That book that came out 80 years ago and they found the sequel after the author died.
Oh, To Kill a Mockingbird.
That's the one. Thank you.
Yeah, Harper Lee had it hidden in a lockbox for 70 years, but suddenly it was her desire to have it published right before she died. Weird.
Yeah. And this phase of the boss also can't pick up anything. Just use the special over and over again.
So you can't rig the enemy spawn to make a dogfight against a helicopter.
If only. No, we had to fight the other two bosses from the game.
Because, you can't have any interesting stuff happen.
Certainly not.
God, no. What do you think? This is a competent game?
Yeah. And this is actually, like, unplayably difficult. The only way to beat it is to cheese it. Because we can fly outside the map and attack the enemies from there where they can't hit
You
us.
did say it was the essential Twisted Metal experience, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, you got me there. But yeah, you can see the lack of cutting the fat and stuff like that. Which is weird, because that's what Scott Campbell actually brought to the Twisted Metal series. Like, in documentaries, they've said that David Jaffe just had this flood of constant ideas, and Scott Campbell's job was to make coherent sense out of them and eventually make them possible to implement in a video game.
Kind of a Peter Molyneux kind of guy.
Oh yeah.
I was more thinking about Duke Nukem, which actually is even more interesting because Duke Nukem was mentioned in the credits.
Yeah.
It was. We watched the trailer for it.
Oh yeah.
It was a killing time.
Like we have it recorded in months.
Yeah, people who are watching this as one coherent playlist are just going to be so freaking like, what?
Yeah, I'm going to be repeating myself all the time.
They're in my timeline. I have the memory that actually makes that make sense, but normal humans do not.
Just need to pause the video and have a little ding caption come up.
If I were playing the game, I would remember a lot more. But, I have never played it. I've only watched this.
Yeah.
As I played it back in like 98, 99 when it came out, and I remember maybe 3 things from it.
Yeah, there's like 3 things that stand out. And the rest of the game, just static. Over and over again. Your very namesake. That's probably where you got it from. This game's lack of creativity.
Yes, I chose my online handle because I can't think of anything and my brain sounds like an untuned TV.
Well, I chose my first online handle because I was playing Baldur's Gate 1 and needed to figure out the name for the character. So I looked at the keyboard and saw, a scroll lock. I just remove the S and the lock, so crawl. There we go, I got a name. And that was like my first internet nick for 2 years.
Flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got severe Body Harvest vibes out of this entire level that we just played through 3 times. And Body Harvest was a N64 launch title, so that goes to show the level of quality we were working with here.
Yes, well, because it was empty and completely unfun.
Yeah.
Wasn't GoldenEye an N64 launch title? Maybe not long.
Not even close. That was way later in the N64.
Okay, it was, for my family, it was a launch title.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was Rogue Trip. Here's our beloved cast of characters. I sort of had fun with it, but I will definitely return to Twisted Metal 3. I will probably never ever play Rogue Trip ever again.
Yeah, it's like this is the supermarket own brand version of, something you actually halfway enjoy.
So thank you all for watching. We are very lucky that we were able to record this at all. Several miracles had to take place.
And a year.